Trying.
That is so nutty.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Youth Ministry Garage. Thank you to U Specialties for sponsoring us as our primary sponsor. Doug Fields here, Katie the Queen Edwards, Josh Griffin, and the wannabe host, but can't be Matt
I can't
McGill.
believe Katie just that was a low blow.
Oh, before we started recording,
It was
a tough way to start the show.
Oh,
Matt might be off
I'd be off my game.
Yeah, well, I might be very consistent with how you've been the last several shows. This is episode 190, everybody.
Awesome.
190.
Landmark.
Working our way to
This is a landmark.
episode 200 at the National Youth Workers Convention in San Diego. I got an
Jump the
email yesterday from our friends at Youth Ministry 360.
Nice.
And they want to do something special about getting people there. So we're
cool.
talking about maybe we do a
360
drawing.
of their resources, one for each
drawing?
degree.
No, that we do a drawing.
I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
And they would actually fly some people there.
What?
YS, let me just tell you the sponsor angles.
This
that
is
we
like,
I've never
yeah.
wanted
YS would let them in for free.
Cool.
Azusa Pacific University, our other
Tell me
sponsor.
hotel. Give me housing. Give me housing.
No, they're going to feed them. We're
Good
going to feed
enough.
them at the 200 show. They're going to sponsor the 200 show in food.
And
So we need Leader Treks
come on,
to
leader
step
tracks. Come on.
up. And Remedy Live. And then we pretty much got all our sponsors doing something
Love
for
it.
Show 200.
Show 200.
So I got a little work to do, but I got 10
Pretty
shows
epic.
to make that happen.
And we wish we could stay the whole time in San Diego, but we're celebrating by going to Hawaii. So, right?
We're going to Hawaii.
No, I think we're all going. Let's go.
I don't know, but other good news.
Let's go.
When is
Seth,
this? I
our
need to put
executive
this on my
producer,
calendar.
Seth,
I know Seth.
is moving out here.
Mm.
How about
That
this?
is
That's big.
so
Seth
great.
and his wife and child
Yep,
and their
Nikki.
dog.
And Gavin, their
And
son,
they'll be
and Dexter, their
in
dog.
studio / garage
Dexter.
with us.
Yeah, well, he
wanna
came.
murder the dog.
So he'll sit right there on top of that pile of boxes.
Well, I don't know. My goal is to have this garage cleaned by
It's good to have goals.
by September 15th.
Oh my goodness.
It's not too bad.
Well, Seth came here and he went, "Oh
which
my,"
means on the 16th you'll be doing an all-nighter.
which means on the 14th I'll be like, "Miguel, what are you doing?"
I don't know. I saw a nice chair over there. I might take and put in my office.
I can't tell you how many times I've cleaned the garage.
And it's good to be back with you guys since we've been together. We've had some student leadership conferences. You guys have been to Africa,
Yeah.
summer camp. Matt's had been vacationing with the
Yeah,
stars.
all summer
yes.
So
vacation.
working, not.
Yeah. 3 of us, good ministry,
Mhm.
1 counting his money.
Now you call, but you're doing ministry still. You're not. I thought you were living the life of leisure here.
Compared to working in the church, it is.
And
Compared to
then-
the pressure.
I actually talked to somebody at your church today who's trying to get me to speak for a small group kickoff thing, and I said I'm working harder than I did when I was in the church. But when I was in the church, I had a direct deposit. Now I don't have a direct deposit, so
Yeah.
I have to. I mean,
You gotta work
it's
for
a
the money.
different type of work.
Yeah.
You know that direct
Yeah, yeah.
deposit. Ooh, before you guys quit, talk to me before you quit. Well, you two.
Talk to you before you
I was
quit.
going to say, he's running back.
Gosh, they're not going to quit anytime soon.
I love where I'm at. I'm good.
Totally.
Me too.
Me too. I'm ready.
That's
Back in the
good.
game, I had 10 days vacation.
That is a good
10-day
Good,
vacation.
dude. I was
It was
worried.
good.
Oh, good for
I was a
you.
couple shows back. I was genuinely worried about you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough.
You know,
It
Some
was rough.
people have been worried about him. You know, at the Pennsylvania Student Leadership Conference, we had a ton of podcast
Podcastees.
people, which is very fun because Mark Matlock was there, who's the president of
Called
Youth
the
Specialties,
team.
who's sponsoring this
That's
whole thing.
awesome.
And people are coming up, going podcast, and I think he was just hearing that we have a little bit of a reach,
Yeah,
little
there's some
crowds
pretty
of
His
people.
sponsorship dollars are being good.
Well
Put in,
played.
being put to
Yeah.
good use. Well
Yep.
played is what I'm gonna say, but you
Don't
don't
push
really
him.
play.
Don't push him too hard. He might start wanting
I
to quit
might
again.
start-
So just let's. He's
Yeah,
teetering.
no criticism.
And there's something. Did
Seriously.
you guys get my text from our double rewinder? Because I didn't hear back from either of you.
Well, you'd already shown
I
it to
showed
me.
it to you
Yeah.
because I
No.
saw you.
I don't think so.
It was long, and so maybe it didn't go through. But there's a guy.
A double rewinder.
double
just feels
rewinder.
like he needs something
Yeah.
special.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have something
Maybe
special.
you need something else to do.
I was just gonna say a life. Is that what we're?
No, he's
you listened to every show
Some movie
twice.
tickets.
Twice.
Yeah, his job is he lays pipe or cable or something like that.
Yeah.
Like an hour away from where he
What's
lives.
so funny about that?
laying cable, laying pipe.
Oh, is that?
It's
okay.
a euphemism for taking a poo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so homeschool boy was
No, I
cracking
just
up
thought it
over
was
there.
funny because you guys were just going right on through, and I'm like,
It's because their minds weren't there.
Yeah. So anyway, he drives an hour to his job, and he's a volunteer youth worker. And when in the
perfect
transition,
it's cool.
they lost their youth pastor. He was the youth pastor for 8 months, and
Wow.
that's when he decided he loved being a volunteer. But he's listened to every show, and he was just talking about the timing of questions that he had.
Cool.
We would then talk about it that week. And
That's cool.
all that. So it was very cool, and he recorded a message.
That's like 189 hours, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of
Wow.
hours because
Yeah,
he's
he's got to
well,
spare
double.
189
yeah,
hours.
1 each
Yeah.
day.
But he
The time
was
you're never gonna
very
get back.
complimentary of Katie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The 30 shows she's been on have been great.
Well, he
There's
said
been like a couple more than that.
he said here's what his quote was: Natalie was the funniest,
Yeah.
but she didn't mean to be.
That is also true.
thought that was
Yes.
perceptive.
He has listened to both.
He
of
said
them
he
twice.
said Jana was very good because
She's so
she
wise.
held her own with us.
Yep.
But Katie has the best insight.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true.
Wow,
That's good.
that's wonderful.
All have been great.
Thank
You're not,
you.
you're not funny. You're
Now
not
I'm
holding your
sad.
own. But
But you're the best. Take it. Take what you can
Maybe
get.
I'm all those things together.
Yeah.
Like that.
We all like to think that, I think.
Yeah. See, Matt just
That
got
is-
defensive because somebody else was getting attention besides
Sorry,
Yeah.
him.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Back
I
on
was
you.
just
Back on
breaking it
you.
down. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Play-by-play commentary.
Spotlight back over here. We're good to go.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Yeah, Joe Kennedy. Joe
Oh,
Kennedy.
watch it. We got a win.
Look at the free. Look at Fields.
You're the fan.
Get it out of your eyes.
My hair plugs almost flew out.
You are kind of rocking a long look for
I
summer
know.
right now.
Yeah, it was. There's been
been a
like
good
2
year.
times I drove by Supercuts and there was a line and went.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, now why do you have a bell on your door? What's that about?
For burglars.
Drug deals.
I think it was the people who owned the house before.
Had
They,
it, you just left it on.
they had children.
Yeah.
And they're afraid that. Yeah.
Seth will take care of that when he gets out.
Yeah, when he cleans the garage.
When his baby gets out the door.
We got a lot of great questions. Here's the deal: send them to podcast at. Youth
No, you
Ministry
don't
Garage.
send them anywhere. You go to the
Oh, that's
website.
right. You go to the
Oh,
website.
there
It's
it
been a
is.
long time.
Yeah.
Been a long
It's
time.
got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, he's rattled. The hair just got in. Yeah.
All the wisdom is on the end.
This says Youth Ministry Garage, Magnum PI, which I'm guessing is me, Mr. Incredible, which is
I get it all the time.
Josh,
All the
Reese,
time.
which
Yes.
is Katie,
Thank you.
Wow.
and Matt.
Spotlight
Peter
back on you.
Dinklage.
Yeah.
This is from Joe Kennedy in Eureka, California. He says, "Hey, just getting ready,
You know what that is?
just getting ready to head to summer camp, and wanted to get your thoughts, strategies on how to keep and use the momentum that comes from camp throughout the year."
It's good.
Josh,
Oh.
you just got back from summer camp. How are you going to keep that momentum?
That's great. We actually have a couple of things. One was on the vehicles heading home from camp. We had a promo card for life groups, and that is the biggest win for us, is to turn a cabin of students with a leader into a life group. And so
Way to go.
that's one of the things I'm really excited about,
I like
was that some of the people stepped up and said, we're gonna lead a group. So we're going to form a couple new groups. It's going to be awesome. So that was big. And then immediately after camp, I think the first youth group that you have when you come back is super critical. And so we messaged parents. We've blown up Facebook. We're really pushing students to youth group this first one after camp, because I think it's a big deal. The message is going to be on the whole armor of God, which will be, I think, really good, tie in well with kind of a how do you take it home type of message. And then we're getting ready for a big fall. So we want summer camp to kind of connect to the school year and then ride it all together. So we put summer camp this year. It was in the middle of summer. I like it the most at the end of summer because it connects to the
momentum
to
for the
fall.
school
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, school year naturally has a lot though, so I can understand why some people would say way at the front of summer might also be good. But I prefer it later in the summer if possible.
Yeah.
But I've done them on all three, and they all seem to work. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and you tap
That's
into
awesome.
relationships. You know,
Yeah.
the one thing I'd say, just as a caution to maybe some of our team that are on the more rookie end, you come back and you make a big deal out of this weekend. You
Right.
also have to remember that half of your kids didn't go to camp. Too.
exactly.
And you don't want them to feel awful.
Make a big deal
So
for
it's
one weekend.
it's a double hit. You
Yeah.
know that I think even just a
Totally.
statement that says, you know, I know a lot of you weren't there, but we're going to celebrate what God was doing. Sure, hope you can go next year, loser. And
Yeah, we've definitely talked about that because in our culture, the team rec, all the fun games and team
Yeah.
colors are so big. And we had a good conversation this morning going, we don't want people to come in their team colors and representing because that would just be too far.
Yeah.
You know, the orange team here, yellow team here, and then 4 kids in jeans going, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I feel like a loser already.
yeah.
So we're going to try to kind of address that by just saying, come and let's celebrate. But yeah,
That's cool.
sorry if we weren't able to come next year.
Yeah.
Well, and even pointing them towards what's next. You know,
Totally.
I mean, life groups is great, or this next great thing is happening too. We'd
Yep.
love for you to be part of
Yep.
it. It's fun.
That's
Well,
great.
and also to build on the commitments that happen is
Yeah.
that, you know, when you go to summer camp, a lot of kids are making commitments and you follow up on those. You just don't
Yeah.
do them at camp, but you follow up on them. And Joe, to help with that, one of our sponsors, Youth Ministry 360,
Yeah,
has a
I like
great
it.
book called New First Steps for New Christ Followers, and they are going to send you one, Joe. So
This
yay.
is going to sound like we planned it, which we did not. But I was thinking this morning, I should have had a stack of those ready to go. If you made a first-time commitment to Christ, we want to help you, and we don't. I dropped the ball on that. So I'd love to get a couple of those myself.
Well, you can take one. I have to keep one here because it reminds me. But I bet you the
Can we just
I'll see if we can.
That's good.
Well,
We still have our camps coming up, so we could
Yeah.
you guys can do a good job of it.
we can make it
Okay.
happen.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, this is Please Don't Read My Name from Missouri. Call me Cletus if you need a name.
Well,
I'm
the Dukes of Hazzard.
possibly about to be asked to take leadership of a youth ministry as a part-time youth pastor. Due to prior circumstances, the current youth leaders have not received any training to lead a ministry, and the senior pastor is talking to me about coming in to not only lead the ministry, but also train this couple as well as others in the ministry. I've been in youth ministry as a part-time leader for more than 10 years. I know some of the dangers of this situation, like the current leaders not being willing to take instruction and just being upset at my presence. What would be some areas of concern that I should be looking for?
That's a great question.
Well, I think one of the ways to set you up to win,
youth sphere?
that's coming. Not on this question, but which, by the way, if they use the code YMG, they get 10% off. Anyway, Cletus, have the senior pastor at the first meeting. Whoever is hiring you to
Set you up to win.
set you up to win. I have asked Cletus here to come in and really kind of be the glue over this next season as we look for a full-time youth pastor. He's got some experience. He's not coming in to turn everything around. He's coming in to kind of guide us and help us and train us. And the pastor sets that blessing
Mark
of
of
endorsement
approval.
on it and lead from there. Then it's going to be a lot easier, whatever decisions that you make. That would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's good.
Anybody want to pitch in, or we go to another one? Because that's a biggie.
That is a biggie. Yeah, there's
Good
no.
2 cents.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be some. It sounds like there's going to be some people in his ministry that are going to feel snubbed, right?
Well,
So
the way he
that's
wrote it,
exactly-
yeah.
It sounds like that. So that's just a drag.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to try and lead people who think they ought to be in your spot.
Well, and hopefully they're learners and they are endorsing this as well or encouraging it. But
Yeah.
it will be very difficult to display that kind of humility when you're looked over
Yeah.
for someone else. I would say it is going to be very challenging. You are right.
Yeah,
about
well, and
that.
to love the people, not just come in and start delegating assignments.
Yeah,
Get to
build
know them, get to know their hearts. What are they
Definitely.
excited about? You might be able to empower them where they don't need a full-time youth pastor. That all of a sudden people are using their gifts in areas where they, gifts that they have that can be used. It'd be great.
There you go.
I've said I was just doing a youth ministry training. We were doing a Q&A type thing, and I said there's no youth ministry question that scares me. There's other questions like if we want to talk like parenting or theology or other, but youth
Yeah.
ministry, I bring it on.
Seen it all,
And
heard it
I've
all,
kind of,
yeah.
I thought I've heard it all.
Oh, love the
No, it's not
intro to this one.
it's not even that great of a
Oh,
question,
okay.
but I just have never been asked this ever. This is from Michael Bright from Schererville, Indiana. Should youth ministries offer energy drinks at their programs? What are you thinking? We're thinking about doing it, but some parents might have concerns over it. What are your thoughts? I've never been asked an energy drink question
great.
in youth ministry.
Wow.
That is great.
I feel like I've never needed sugary beverages to invoke energy out of middle schoolers. I don't know. I've never even thought about that before.
But if it's the next cool thing, I mean, if you're providing drinks, soda pop and water,
Way to get Midwest. on
Yeah,
that.
thank you. That's nice.
It's funny. This is a funny question. Funny situation with this. So Luke is a person on our team. We had like a long night and a long morning or whatever, and so he called a kid and said, "Hey," one of the kids in our youth group, and said, "On your way here, will you pick me up a few Red Bulls?" And so now Luke, who is a great young man, but doesn't always think things all the way through. First of all, this kid doesn't drive. And so, by asking this kid to bring up a few Red Bulls, he was asking the parents
mom
to stop
swing
and
by the
to stop.
convenience store.
And secondly, child of an elder. And so when I saw the elder, he's like, "Hey, what's this? You guys need energy drinks to keep going? What are you teaching our kids?" And he was joking.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy, and he's cool,
But
and there's
yeah.
no
Great.
issue.
Great.
But it was one of those
Luke
griff
is
comments.
no longer on his team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No
Luke has
big
been
deal.
fired over requesting. But I just afterwards I said to Luke, and here's the great thing, is that we happened to have some in the refrigerator. Someone else had brought some in, and he didn't even need them.
That's awesome.
So it's like, Luke, this guy doesn't even drive. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Well, no big deal. I just thought he picks them up.
I'm not an energy drink guy. I
Not
don't know,
either.
but let me tell you from a parent side, and I don't even know if I've told you this, Josh. My sister, her son
Yep.
is in Josh's youth group.
Yep.
And he has some he was adopted. He's a drug baby. He's got some medical
Yep.
issues. He's kind of on the hyper end. And he's in a small group at the refinery where they give him candy. And giving candy to
Yeah.
my
Sure,
nephew
sure.
is like crack cocaine.
To a crack addict.
And my sister's like, why do they give him candy? I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
no.
Why do they give him candy? Because humans eat candy.
Well, it was just one of those things
But-
like, well, when was the last time you said thank you to him? Say thank you to the small group leader. And then ask him.
That's the same question.
But from a parent's angle, you go, an energy
Yeah.
drink may be something that's...
I mean,
That's
Mountain
not a
Dew.
funny candy
I mean,
story.
Mountain Dew when
Yeah,
it first came out.
I think you have to think through a lot of nowadays in youth ministry. I mean, from when I
Yeah.
started, anything food or beverage, there are allergies on the scene that you've never heard of. There's a lot
Non-existent
more
mental
concerns,
allergies, way.
And so, I'm
Gluten.
even serving pizza. We had
yeah.
we bought free pizza for our little Bible study that we had the other day,
Peanuts on it?
and I had 3 kids that are like, I can't eat that. And I was like, why? It's just cheese. And they're like, no, I can't eat the bread. I was like,
Gluten-free,
oh.
dairy-free,
So,
bread-free, cheese-free.
It's just not. I mean, I feel like with any kind of food, beverage, whatever. I had a mom who got really upset. Her son won candy as a prize at one of our services, and he ate whatever it was. It was a giant bag of something.
An
And
entire bag of it.
he
which
ate
is
the
awesome.
whole thing. And
Which
then
I would have done
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Totally. And
How
then he
else are you gonna learn
didn't eat his
self-control?
birthday dinner
Wait a
that
minute.
night. They went out for a special birthday dinner, and he didn't eat it. And, he
And
threw
she was
up.
mad at you.
Mad at
She
the
was really
church.
upset,
Yeah.
which I was like,
That's awesome.
I gotta, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a little level. There's a layer of that now that didn't
See,
exist a few years ago.
that kind of parent thing.
It drives me crazy.
I
crazy.
I can
Like,
see a parent saying that
it's
to
not
you
about
as
the dinner.
as a funny story.
Yeah, but it wasn't a funny story.
Yeah, but to complain.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
it's
just, I don't know.
You're there with your kid, the family. You throw up, you laugh, you get to care for him in that moment. Hey, maybe next time don't be a moron and eat the whole bag. But I mean, the perfect dinner was
I know.
upset.
Exactly.
But there is that layer
Well,
of that
I-
kind of stuff that exists now.
I would throw out a
We need
little bit,
parenting book or something.
and I would say we don't
Do we have any of
encourage.
those to give away?
Shut up. Just go.
I would say we
I
don't
got the shut
encourage it, but we also don't discourage it. So I don't have a Monster or Red Bull machine in the youth room.
Right.
But if we stop at a convenience store on the way to
you had to
camp,
regulate it.
and they're gonna buy a Monster
Yeah,
or a
what are you gonna
Rockstar,
do? Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would be handing
We don't
out
serve
5-hour
them,
energies at night.
but
You know,
yeah,
hey
yeah.
guys, this would be awesome. You know. But I don't. We're not going to have a message on the dangers of caffeine either. I think it's a very small jump from Mountain Dew to an energy drink, and we, in most contexts, would be okay with Mountain Dew. However, it's going to make people upset. If you come out for it and you put whatever in your youth room and give it out, people are going to get upset. Is it a little battle you want to fight?
I know.
Because it's going to be a little battle.
On their way to hell.
And we're arguing over it.
All right. Hey, Leader Trex is going to send you, Michael. They're going to send you a 6-pack of
Red Bulls.
Red Bulls.
I love it.
I was thinking upper. Uppers?
We're going to send you some prescription drugs.
A bag of candy and a big stack of Red Bulls.
And also the book called The Sweet Spot, Finding the Right Place for Your Adult Volunteers. I love this.
It's so great.
The sweet spot.
Just no candy. No candy will be sent in that package.
All right.
Oh, great questions. Fun.
Angie Barker says, thanks for mocking me on your international podcast on episode 187.
What, was Angie a guy?
No, Angie Barker is...
I don't remember. What did we say?
I don't remember either. That was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So, sorry,
it's always
Angie.
great to know that the kids at the cool table are still trying hard at work at belittling others.
Oh, no.
That's clearly directed at Katie.
I've never sat at the cool table.
Well, I was going to say, Josh sat at his own table.
Oh, no. Where this is not.
What do you mean Josh sat at
Nobody
his
from
own
the
table?
cool table.
The dining room table would have been a little
home
clearer.
dinner.
Sorry.
I was thinking you were thought it was a little more advanced humor, but...
I thought you were referring to him being
down.
the hardest working man in youth ministry.
Oh, God.
I've had a really hard time, and I'm going to quit youth ministry, so thanks again for the encouragement and support.
Oh, crap.
I don't even remember what we said.
I don't
Does
either.
anybody remember what we said?
Angie's great. Angie's part of our team. I think she's...
Wait,
she
is
just
that
got
real?
You guys. No,
Let
it's...
me make a quick note. Just keep going.
That's a good get. It's a good get.
It's a good get?
It's a good get.
Why? Who's been got?
Angie, thanks for watching the show. Sorry.
Hey,
it was
there's-
Matt's
For
fault.
thinking we're cool.
When?
Yeah.
There are some questions that...
You're so excited now. She's like, I'm genuinely cool.
Finally, I
Finally,
made it.
37 years.
I
just
made
wanted to
it.
make a quick note, but it's not going to happen now, I guess.
Dude, if you just had the retina
There we
display.
go. Thank you. You got anything to write on? Give me one of these excess emails.
Angie's
I don't got
email will be
any extras.
fine.
Would you look?
Angie's email.
Leave my stuff alone. I
Leave
got
my
a system,
stuff
all
alone.
right?
I got a system.
This is an
Um,
elaborate system today.
Well, there's a lot of questions.
Okay.
And what I was going to say is we've got some questions, multi-site questions, we've got website
about that a lot
questions,
lately.
we've got trusting your senior pastor questions, we've got coming from a rich kid environment questions. But it's got 4 right here that I thought were worthy of the web and the community.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, at the Student Leadership Conference in Philadelphia, 2 of our primary contributors to the questions, Jerry Varner,
Yeah, regular.
and Susie Ralph. These are regular contributors.
Yes.
I was talking to one of them, and I went, hey, you came over and introduced them face to face. Like, I know you from, writing podcasts. Yeah, so encouragement is, let's get some more voices in there when you see people asking questions. Chime in.
Get in,
Chime
yeah,
in.
do it.
I gave you my pen, and now you pulled out your...
Yep. You didn't give me anything to write on. Give a man a fish.
Give a man an
Yeah,
iPad.
it's just
Can't
like
teach him to
that.
write.
Give a man a bone here.
At the
Own him a
Student
bone.
Leadership, I haven't told you guys this. The Student Leadership Conference, we were doing this thing on stage where kids had to it was kind of Shark Tank, and so they
yeah.
had to
I heard that
defend
was
the
cool.
deal, and it was great. And one kid says, as it says in the Bible, give a man a fish. He says,
no.
That's the whole deal. And I said, as it says in the Bible, whose youth group is this kid in? Guttridge's.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here's
is funny.
a question.
That should be.
That's probably when Guttridge found out it wasn't in the Bible.
It's probably left out.
Clearly lost
By
in
the way, he
translation.
was in your youth group. So there you go.
Oh, so technically, you taught Guttridge taught this kid.
Basically,
Yeah.
Jim
Alright.
Burns is a failure.
Yeah, I'm back in.
What is your thought
You were
on ministry
Peter.
volunteers drinking alcohol?
Have a good time.
Griff's
Next
like,
question.
wish I was with you.
Wait, unless it's Red Bull,
Yeah.
draw the line right there.
In our area, it's not uncommon for pastors and volunteers to drink, but I come from a Wesleyan background. I don't have much experience with this. We've handled this before,
Yeah.
but let's handle it quickly. Go.
Yeah, I mean, drinking it's a cultural thing and it's a church commitment thing. I mean, for a lot of
Not
years,
against the law.
yeah, it's not against the law, and it's a perception. It's a perception thing, and so Saddleback, it's real clear. I mean, before
All
you
four of
wrote
us
this,
have worked at a church where we had to sign a covenant that
Yeah.
we're not
We
going to
didn't
drink.
drink.
Not because
Yeah.
drinking is anti-Bible, but because we had a high
Just
majority
that was
of
the
alcoholics
standard.
in our environment or in our culture. And we
Yeah.
said, let's just don't be a stumbling
Yeah,
block.
yeah.
Now, Matt and I have left that environment. Matt liquored up right away.
Yeah.
I just have, we don't drink. The field
Yeah.
family doesn't drink.
occasional
So-
glass of wine, maybe, but yeah,
Very
Yeah.
occasional.
Yeah, very occasional.
Although I did come home from LAX, Matt picked me up at LAX, and I had a terrible, terrible headache.
Oh.
Remember
pull
this?
out
My,
a
flask?
my car,
Oh, there
my
you
car
go.
is at my car is at his house, and my car's at his house, and so McGill, do you have any aspirin before I drive home? So I go get an aspirin, and he goes, hey, why don't you wash it down with this? And what did you give me?
It was like a bottle of scotch, and he didn't drink it. I mean, I just was like,
no,
joking.
you poured yourself, and I like put my
Oh,
tongue on
wow.
it. It was like I siphoned gas out of my car. It
Let
was
me tell you what.
it was
I don't know what you're missing.
terrible.
But I mean, I was at Saddleback for a bunch of years, and so coming out of that, it was very strange to see pastors drinking and stuff like that. And so a year ago, we were at our pastors' retreat, and the pastors at our church, they drink, and so that's actually part of it. There was like wine and cheese before you go out to dinner, and that's just part of the culture and part of the deal. And one of the elders, another elder, came up to visit and was just talking to something. He brought his high school kid, and it was just a strange thing. I mean, it wasn't like I was drinking and I put it away or anything like that. I actually wasn't drinking at that time, if you could believe that or not.
Interesting.
But I mean, as he came up, I mean, I just was on full people watcher, observer mode to see what he thought, what he was doing, and it was not a big deal to him, you know, and it was just one of those things. And so after watching and coming to that conclusion, I then asked him and was like, hey, so what do you think about this? Is this weird? And his parents drink occasionally, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they drink. It's a normal part of their culture and their family. And, so I just think it's culture, it's church commitment, and, it's hard when, you make a personal commitment. This is how I'm going to live my life to be above reproach. But it's just a personal decision that you've made. When you make that a rule that everyone else has to follow, that's a tough thing. And so you have to realize that's a tough thing because it's not a right thing. When you judge others based on the disputable matters that you've jumped into. But when it's happened to you, when you've come and lived underneath that authority, which is okay and good to do, and you leave that, have your eyes wide open. I mean, and I think you're asking the right question. I think it's great,
And I stopped listening a few minutes ago. Did we give him an
That's
answer?
okay. That's okay.
We both have signed, we have that commitment that we signed, but for our volunteers, if they're 21 and they're over, we just remind them of, hey, you live in the community with your students. Perception is reality. Just know that in all of your life, choices
Right.
and decisions, you're in the
Totally.
community with students and parents, and so that's something. Your Facebook page,
I was gonna say, pictures
how you
on
live your
Facebook.
life, all of those things
Yeah,
are,
sure.
are part of that
Sure.
lifestyle, kind of commitment. So.
Tori, who's on Matt's staff, has a friend who's a volunteer on
Who's
Matt.
Tori again? It's really insider.
Tori's my daughter, who's Matt's best employee.
That was the highlight of my life right there. It's your first mistake in 190,
Sad life.
190 podcasts. That's
And
your
so
first mistake.
she's actually told some of her friends who are volunteers in their ministry, you need to be careful with what you post. Like, I would encourage you to take that down. And
Yeah.
has even said, because there's pictures with,
Red flags and things like that just
Exactly.
what's happening or
Yeah.
I think it's a fine line,
Snorting
but
cocaine.
I think it's again helping those volunteers understand perception, and the reason we chose, Kathy and I chose, well, one, my parents drank, and so I was a little kid. I would drink sips of their wine or coffee or beer. All three of those I hate because as a little
Interesting.
kid,
Yeah.
I would have little sips of them. But we lived our first youth ministry job where we were married. We lived very close to the church, so kids were at our house all the time, and we didn't want alcohol in the refrigerator just because the appearance of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my youth pastor drinks, I can drink.
Right.
So that was just our choice.
Right.
It wasn't like, we never really struggled with it because we're not big drinking people, and so
Yeah.
Well, I would say abide by whatever covenant you sign or whatever agreement you have. That's a separate issue altogether.
Yeah,
That's
church
integrity
commitment.
and character. And so if you're going to say yes to that church after you interview with them and you know they have that policy, you need to abide by it and be a man or woman of your word and have integrity. So, yeah, I don't think I would drink either way, to be totally honest. I don't drink. We haven't drank. In this particular case, and in my only other previous church, it was against the church policy, and so it hasn't been an issue for us. It's also, I think, the safe way. Like, I think.
So you've had 2 churches where you weren't allowed to drink?
The only ever since Bible college, the 2 places I've served, neither one.
So you got to go. You got to go a little bit of time at a church before I believe that statement. I don't think I ever would drink. I would have to.
Well, I'm 37 and haven't had a drink in whatever, ever. So.
You kind of are who you are.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like I'm good to go.
Not everybody loves alcohol, Matt.
I'm just saying. I'm not sure.
I mean, being around you, feel like I'm being driven to drink sometimes.
Have we told the story about Download Youth Ministry, our staff meeting?
I don't know if we have or not.
we told the
We
story?
must have.
I don't think
I
I
think
heard
We
it.
have it?
We had a Download Youth Ministry staff meeting like at midnight at Josh's house. His wife was in Africa, and we had some stuff to do. And I sent the email out, and I said, we'll meet at Griffin. McGill will bring the alcohol, which
It's a funny
2 of
bit.
us don't
We
drink.
laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
McGill brings out a Metallica flask with
with like Jack Daniels
It
in
has
it.
Metallica.
Yes, and it has honey
classic.
Jack Daniels in it. And I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
like I've had the Metallica flask for like 15 years. Like somebody gave it to me as a joke because I love Metallica.
Metallica and alcohol.
Yeah. So
Classy,
yeah, very
babe,
classy.
not
Classy.
real.
Honey
Were
Jack
you a
Daniels in a
closet
Metallica
drinker
flask.
at your last
no,
church?
no, I didn't. No, but I know that there's a lot of people. I mean, that's just the drag. When you mention the integrity thing, which is great.
Yeah.
That's important because there's, we all know a bunch of people that.
Yeah. I think if you say yes, then you got to say no.
Yeah. Totally.
You're welcome.
Good one.
You're welcome. That's wisdom, guys. That's a cool table.
Let your yes be your yes.
All right, Justin Mack from Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm the youth director of my church, and my pastor considers himself pretty relaxed about time clock issues.
Love
I
it.
always work 40 hours or more. I'm on a part-time salary, and lately I've been getting a lot of passive-aggressive comments from my pastor about not getting enough or not being happy in the office. They might not be so passive as if his pastor ever listens to this. But he doesn't want to outline his expectations in a formal way, but I get the feeling he's not happy with my performance, and I think I need to record my hours and a synopsis of what I do on a daily basis, just to keep for myself in case I ever get questions on my level of participation. Any suggestions or links where I can record my time and log what I'm doing at the same place?
Yeah, not a
Surely
bad
you have to have
idea.
some chart you can send this guy.
Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. Thank you. What movie is that from?
Airplane.
Leslie. Yeah,
Keep
Leslie
moving.
Nielsen.
Dumb. Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Tell us what you're thinking.
It's not a bad idea to keep track of your hours. I mean, you have said this for years, and so I do it occasionally. But it's not a bad idea to keep track of your hours. I think it's a good idea to do, every 3 months just for yourself. You track
Look at
3
your time.
weeks and just see where you're at, and then so you can step back and go, oh man, I'm spending so much time X. It might be another issue. I mean, I think if you're feeling there might be something else and you're misinterpreting it as a time issue, there might be something else. And so it could be worth, I think it is worth a conversation between you and your senior pastor saying, hey, are we okay? Is there anything going on here? Are you seeing something you want to change or whatever? And leave it with an open-ended question. And if you get nothing, then say, well, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Is it an hours thing? Because, you don't want to come in. I know this is funny coming from me, but in all honesty, you don't want to come in all guns blazing and say, well, look, here's my hours for the last 6 weeks. And,
I think it's a good idea, Justin, to track your hours. In the first church I served for 11 years, 3 pastors had affairs. And I thought to myself, a lot of questions were going around, like where were they when, and boy, it seems like on Tuesday afternoon, and so everybody was kind of doing this swirling deal. And I thought, if I was ever accused of anything, I want my date book, and this is back before computers.
Yeah.
I want my date book to have.
You did ministry without a computer?
It's not real
I did
ministry.
college and seminary
And a
on the
cell phone.
computer.
The
But
land before time. What in the world?
I know.
Holy smokes.
But I just thought I'm
There's Adams.
gonna. You'd
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
you'd have to argue with my date book,
Right.
where I was, and so I would just at the end of the night, I would just kind of write through where I was, what I did, and the whole bit. Now, 30 years of youth ministry, nobody has ever asked to see my date book. But now I don't do it now because I work
Yeah.
for myself. I don't have that. But when I was at the church, even in my Saddleback years, I would write down
Yeah.
what I did on my calendar just for accountability. I think it's wise. But I think on something like this, you're part time and you're working 40 or more hours.
That's crazy.
You're getting passive aggressive comments. I think it's worth for everybody listening, if you're not getting a review, ask for 2 reviews a year because it's the best thing you can do. You can go
until you
in.
get hammered on one.
Matt will share a testimony in a minute. Well, no,
In theory.
but
Yeah, I'm just making that up.
to
guys.
a conclusion that you have come to
Yes.
that you shared with me before
Yeah.
the podcast.
Great conclusion.
Was triggered by that review. So
Yeah.
even if it's a
Yeah, it was
negative
definitely a
review or
catalyst.
whatever, a review allows me, hey, I've sensed this, or I'm wondering if this, and
Yeah,
I
other
picked
things
this
to
up, and I'm just because we can create all these things that may be happening.
Right,
He
right.
doesn't like me, she doesn't like me. I wonder if this, and maybe I'm
Yeah.
not doing good. Maybe I need to work more and sacrifice my family. When really that person is out of control,
Yeah.
and they're just feel safe
Yeah, or-
when they're with you and they make dumb
I
comments.
feel like that happens way too often in ministry, where there's assumptions or people assuming without just going directly to the source at times.
It could be another issue.
It
could
could
be
be.
another issue. It could
Could
be
be.
that you didn't handle a situation the way that they thought you should. I mean, it's worth a conversation. It's worth tracking your hours.
Yeah.
I like the time management piece. Like, for me, I do the same thing just at the end of the day. Even interruptions that come in, I kind of write those down more just even to see what kind of ministries happened in
Yeah.
the day. Like, oh, I had this impromptu half hour with this volunteer or this person that stopped by.
Yeah.
Just kind of, for me, it helps me evaluate myself sometimes and
Yeah.
how I spend
And
time.
part of it could be you're working, but you're out all the time, and you're not at the church office. And the tweak just needs to be a little more visible around the church office. Out of the 20,
Yeah.
or out of the 40, they're just not seeing you anywhere near.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could just be a perception issue as well.
What do you think?
I was looking for PDYM, but somebody just ordered
Oh.
15 of them,
Oh.
and so they may have
Oh.
been in boxes and not
That's
on the
awesome.
shelf. But in the back of PDYM, there is a template of a time chart,
Yeah.
a blank one, and then an example of how I've used one. Which actually I kind of stole the idea from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Rest
May
in
rest
peace.
in peace. Yeah.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
Ran out of time.
What is happening?
Brand new. Never been said out loud before.
That's
Everybody.
I'm not, no.
Look at that.
Thank you too.
Man.
So anyway, here's the
You
deal,
ran
Justin.
out of time.
At APU,
It
Pacific
doesn't sound like
University,
an effective habit.
who is doing the master's program.
Yes.
that you guys are very excited about.
Yes, just applied.
We'll send
Did you finish the
you.
application?
I need 2 references. Hey, anybody? Any takers?
Oh, I would give you a reference.
We can't
APU.
reference each other.
Doug immediately
Sure you
diverts
can.
his eyes.
We know each other really well.
Anyway, APU is going to send the academic pack, which involves PDYM, as academic as any of us have written. First 2 years,
Wow.
and what matters
The
most.
cool table is just now a single chair.
I think
It's got a goatee on that table.
Long flowing
We've
hair and a
all
goatee.
written a bunch of stuff. None of it's academic, but PDYM is the most academic of anything we've written.
It's the defense mechanism that just came on automatically.
All right, let's do one more question.
Maybe I should write something.
This question has been asked a couple times, and maybe the reason I think it's asked a couple times is
a
because
hot
it's
issue.
written by the same person, just printed on 2 different papers.
Couple
I was going to
times.
say, because we didn't answer it, maybe.
Because Debbie printed this and I printed this, and I thought it was 2 different ones. So
double
same
work.
guy. Here we go.
There we go.
We're getting a lot of this question.
How do you go about starting a youth pastor network? Some area youth pastors and I would like to start one. What should be the focus of a youth pastor network? Very similar to what this other person wrote. How do you go about starting a youth pastor network? Some area youth pastors and I would like to start one. What should be the focus
Same
of
source.
a youth pastor network?
If you want to hear it again, just rewind the show a little bit.
You can hear it twice.
All right.
Love it.
Well, since not any of you guys are in Youth Pastor Network, should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see what you think.
I've got the king of networking.
Let's get the
on my
academic
junior high
answer.
I
team.
was in one for a little while.
You do.
It was
I've got
fun.
the king of networking on my junior high team. He's a stud.
Justin?
Justin Herman.
Yeah.
Is totally great.
That's awesome.
I would
don't
say
know.
first go to the National
Not
Network
for
of
me.
Youth Ministry. The National Network of Youth Ministry is Mike DeVito is our California guy, and he connects people, and they have all the bells and all the whistles and all the stuff to connect with other people. But if you've already got people together and you don't need their kind of formal help, one, I'd still register with them anyway, just because as they have network stuff that fits in that pipeline can sure help you. But when you're in a larger church like you guys are in and you have multiple staff, the need for networking is not there as much, because really a networking is a lot of it is community,
care, encouragement,
and actually the kind of the beginning, the genesis of Simply Youth Ministry many years ago when I started it was I was getting ideas from the network I was in. So we would show up at Steve Murray's house for lunch, and he always provided the lunch. I came from a wealthier church that had a budget, and so they would do it, and there was 6 of us sitting around, and we would just share what was going on in the ministry. Then we started sharing stuff that we were doing, and so I would hand them my stuff, and then we started bringing copies of everything we were doing, and we were teaching each other's message, using each other's volunteer leader stuff. We did a couple events together. Those were not always, we ran into politics at different churches where it was a really short guy in an Episcopal church who didn't want to do anything with this Baptist church, and they got in trouble. But there's a lot of networks that, I speak at a ton of stuff where they're brought together by networks. Here's what I'd love. If you are part of the Youth Ministry Garage community and you are part of a network, would you let me know and just send me an email through our site, the Youth Ministry Garage? It would be fun. I think it'd be fun for us that when we actually do our road show, when we get the motorhome and go on the road, to hit the networks.
Hit the ones that have the
networks,
You just, I think you want to define the purpose of why you're meeting, what you want to gather, because you just don't want to waste everyone's time to get together for 3 hours a month or every other week or something like that, where all you do is just talk and hang out. Because chances are you're not just looking for 6 other new friends to spend time with. I mean, I realize that's definitely part of it. And so if it's, encouragement, prayer, share ideas, bootleg resources, one of those things that you just want to figure out what it is you're meeting for and what's going on.
Well, I think ban certain things, like ban numbers talk and ban some other words and issues that I think would be distracting, or the big church on the block could kind of, bully people or whatever. So let it be an even playing field. Everybody's ideas are valued, and it'll be fun.
Ban, B-A-N.
Ban.
I think you said banned. I was
did
confused
too,
for a
so
second.
I didn't know what you were...
I would ban several things.
Have a few rules of engagement. Don't talk about numbers.
Exactly.
Don't clown anybody else's ideas.
Don't have a cool table.
Don't have a cool table,
This table, apparently.
I love...
Can I ask you a question about where you started in our network? How long did you stay with that same network before you those guys moved on, or you moved into a new network? Because I was in a junior high network a long time ago, but it just felt like everybody started moving on, and then it was how do we start all over again type of a thing,
There's so much turnover.
It's usually the person with the longevity that kind of holds on to it, So for me, the church I was at for 11 years, the guy that started it, he was at his church for 15 years. So he started.
What is your Danville days?
No, that was St. Andrew's Press.
Oh, okay.
Tim Smith came from Mariners back then.
A
guy named Pete came from a Baptist church in Costa Mesa. So the person who had kind of been there the longest had owned it. And a lot of, I was just speaking at something in Syracuse, and they have a Syracuse network, and I've spoke there 2 years now. Some of the guys that were in the network last year are not in it this year, but they've kind of recycled. They've invited other people into the network. So I think when there's some stability in there, and again, you got to figure out why you're doing it and what it's all about. But if you need help and coaching, or you just want to be a part of one that's already existing, you don't want to start one. Go to the National Network of Youth Ministry.
Could we do something to like help empower these guys that are doing networks? Like give them, discounts on
Well,
Newsphere
that's what I'm.
or
If you're part of
if you
it,
want
if you're
download
part
Youth
of our
Ministry.
team,
Yeah.
the podcast, and you're in a network, let me know because I'd like to play around with that idea. You Specialties has been talking about that. How are they gonna?
That's
how are
cool.
they can get stuff into networks and pipelines
Yeah,
and serve them?
I feel like I need to write something down again.
All right.
No, you got your iPad right
Hey, that's
there.
it. That's
So
it.
it's locked
Good
in.
show.
That's it. Josh was 30 minutes late, so we had to
Awesome.
cut this one a few minutes.
Yeah.
Well, how
sorry,
long has
guys.
this one been?
Sorry, guys. I'm the
45
hardest
minutes.
working youth pastor in Millwood,
Yeah.
so don't worry about it.
45
You
minutes
don't wanna
is
shake my hand?
perfect
I did,
timing,
but-
I think. Don't you
That's
think?
great.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
thought we.
It was really
You know
nice.
what? If you got
Love
an
you
hour,
guys.
it's the best hour of your week.
Yeah.
Yep. We're gonna make them easier for the double rewinders. No big deal.
That's
You know
right.
what? We'll be back next week. Right now during summer months, it's like every 7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
Whenever Matt
We'll be
uploads
around.
something. All right. Episode 190. Is that what we're on?
In the
That's
can.
it.
I'll upload.
Love you guys. Bye.
I'll upload you something.